On October 24, 2025, Prusa held a secret presentation event at the Prague Planetarium. We were welcomed not only by the pleasant environment, but also by the refreshments. There was an opportunity to meet many local and foreign influencers with whom it was a pleasure to exchange a few words. But we all came here with a single goal. We wanted to know what kind of new products Prusa had prepared for us. The embargo has now ended, and I can finally show you everything that Josef Průša has prepared for us. The whole event took place in the main screening room. The introduction had the atmosphere of something new being born. We were walking through a 3D scan of a Charles Bridge towards the Old Town Bridge Tower. After this epic beginning, Josef Průša welcomed us with a few words.
It will be amazing.
Shortly after, he handed over the word to Rudolf Krčmář, who took us through the current offering of Prusa FDM printers and emphasized how proud they are of them.
So if you want to print PLA or PETG, it's a true beast.
He showed us the Prusa MK4S, Prusa Core One and Prusa XL. I wonder why the Prusa Mini was not present here. Josef Průša then spoke and showed us the current Prusa universe. We then moved on their print farm, which is said to be the largest in the world and is even said to be registered in the Guinness Book of Records. Here they explain to us why their printers can be trusted and that they push them to their limits every day. They also remind us that some parts of their printers are now being produced using injection molding, as you can see here on my Prusa Core One. After these words, we found ourselves in an automated injection molding machine that produces spools for Prusament. We learned that this machine is part of the new Prusa factory, which they opened last year in Czech Republic. It has an area of 5,000 square meters, and inside there are over 30 production lines for Prusament and a total of 6 of these injection molding machines. We also learned that a few weeks ago they acquired a company specializing in the production of molds for injection molding. In the following weeks, they plan to open an equally large factory in Hradec Králové in Czech Republic. This factory will focus on their industrial 3D printers. That's not all, because they also opened another factory a few months ago, covering an area of 10,000 square meters. This one located in the city of Wilmington, in the state of Delaware, in the United States. Then Rudolf Krčmář took the word again, focusing on Printables and their online slicer called EasyPrint. Unfortunately, his presentation could not be displayed due to technical problems. Nevertheless, he explained that EasyPrint can now create print files not only for Prusa 3D printers, but also for 3D printers from other manufacturers. He said that this was appreciated by the wide community of printers. According to statistics, 50% of the created print files are for Prusa printers and 50% are for printers from other manufacturers. Therefore, they are strongly considering making EasyPrint an open source project for the whole world. This way, the whole world could use it and the community could help with the development of an already good online slicer. Next, Mikolaj Zuza took the word and began to explain why we all need smart filament spools. The main points he mentions are automatic recognition of the material type and color, which improves the user experience with the printer. Another is the effort to prevent user errors and the ability to monitor the remaining material on the spool. And last but not least, the possibility of digital material and inventory management for companies. Some companies already offer a similar system, but it is their closed solution, and most of these spools do not have the ability to rewrite the stored information. That's why Prusa is introducing a new open version of smart spools called OpenPrintTag. Their solution is a circular tag. The tag is rewritable, open source, works offline, is cheap and reusable. They hope that just like the 1.75mm became the standard for filament diameter, these tags could become the standard for all future spools. For this to happen, large filament manufacturers need to agree and start putting these tags on their spools. As one of the first manufacturers, Prusa with their brand Prusa is certainly a prominent one. They are not alone in this, as you can see. Each new Prusa spool will now include this tag as standard. I already have a spool like that here. However, this is an egg that currently has no hen. In other words, the spool has a tag, but apart from the ability to read information from it using the Prusa mobile app, it has no other use at this time. This comes with a new spool design that has a simple click-to-lock mechanism. Additionally, the new spools can handle higher temperatures for drying and have a shape suitable for automatic filament feeders such as AMS and similar. Support for the new OpenPrintTag is of course standard with them. After my collage, Josef Průša took the stage again. His story about his father, a carpenter, touched our hearts. He talked about a project that he had in his mind for about 6 years and which he had once tried to realize. It was a 3D printer in a wooden box, just like the old MakerBot. Long time ago, he had tried to realize this project with the most talented people from Prusa Lab using the Prusa Mini. But it wasn't quite right. With the arrival of the Prusa Core One, everything changed. They even presented this project with the Prusa Core One at Formnext in 2024. At the time, it may have seemed like a mockery of the competition, however, the feedback was surprisingly positive. And so Prusa Signature Oak was born. Prusa Core One in a box made from 100-year-old oak. It is a combination of modern technologies from the Prusa family business and handmade wood manufacturing from the Czech family company Jelínek. This masterpiece will be produced in only 250 pieces and each piece will have Josef Průša's personal signature. I had the opportunity to inspect this printer personally and I acknowledge that it is a truly beautiful achievement. It's not so much about the printer's printing capabilities, but rather the entire concept and the result brought to perfection. Then Josef passed the word to Stepan Fake. After a few minutes, during which he praised the Prusa Core One, there came a moment that none of us probably expected. He introduced to us a larger and more powerful sibling of this 3D printer called the Prusa Core One L. As soon as we learned that the print area is 300 to 300 to 330 mm, we were transported inside the printer. After looking around and trying to notice all the differences, we were informed that some parts of the printer are now made of aluminium. One of the reasons is to reduce the weight of the printer, as aluminium is lighter than steel. The weight of the printer should be comparable to the original Prusa Core One. You won't have the same experience as those who had the opportunity to look around. I will show you footage from Prusa Research where we had the opportunity to examine the printer in more detail. The aluminium parts include, for example, these side panels which hold the filament spool holder. Do you remember the egg in the form of OpenPrintTag? I said we don't have a reader for the tag. Steel has issue with allowing radio waves to pass through for NFC tag reading. This, however, does not apply to aluminium. So, is there a possibility that a new NFC antenna, similar to the one used for Wi-Fi setup, will soon appear to read these NFC tags? That is still a big question mark. But back to the aluminium. The new heated bed, powered by mains voltage, is also made of aluminium, which helps with the even distribution of heat. More magnets have also been added around the perimeter of the print bed. This is like a defense against the print plate corners lifting when printing materials that are capable of warping the entire print plate. I had to forcefully flex the print plate to release the first row of magnets in order to even be able to remove it from the heated bed. Beneath the heated bed there is a pair of fans. Their task is to help with faster heating of the air inside the chamber by circulating the hot air. This heated bed is powered by mains voltage and it is not advisable to tamper with it. Therefore, the printer is equipped with electronics that functions as a current breaker. If you were to attempt to cut the supply cable to the heated bed with a knife, the electronics would disconnect the heated bed from the mains and you would not be harmed. Maybe you remember the fact that the ventilation grid on the top of the Prusa Core One printer had to be manually opened and closed. The Prusa Core One L does this activity for you using a smart movement of the print head. When trying to print with a very elastic filament on the Prusa Core One, the problem could have been getting the filament through the filament sensor at all. For the Prusa Core One L, this was solved by a switch that allows you to release the passage of the filament through the sensor. The last thing mentioned about this printer was the presence of a Full HD camera with night vision for monitoring prints without the need for internal lighting. A funny detail was the demonstration of what the Josef Průša printer sees when printing. The printer should be distributed only in a fully assembled and calibrated state. The customer simply unpacks the printer, turns it on, and can start printing immediately. I have also discovered that the print head now contains an accelerometer for calibrating the input shaper and face stepping. Therefore, there is no need to purchase anything additional. The price of the printer will start at 1,699 euros. The printer will also be available in a special version without a camera and without the option of connecting to Wi-Fi. This version of the printer will come with an encrypted disk with which the printer will be able to communicate. Mikołaj Zúza then returned to the stage to present a new version of the Prusa Slicer in version 3.0. In addition to a significantly nicer appearance, the ability to open multiple projects at once will also appear there. There will also be a change in the process of preparing print files and much more. This version, unfortunately, should not be released until the beginning of the new year. The last innovation was presented by Štěpán Fake. He told us that 50% of customers buying the Prusa XL purchase the version with 5 print heads, and others gradually buy additional print heads. This means that out of this 50%, a total of 58% of Prusa XL users have a 5 print heads. Then something unexpected happened. We were introduced to a print head for Prusa XL that was capable of printing from a special 2-component silicone. This, let's call it filament, was developed by company Filament 2. Founder Eran Galor presented this material already in 2024 at Formnext. I had the opportunity to take a closer look at how printing of this material works. 2 tubes enter the print head where each carries one component of this 2-component silicone. In the print head, these tubes are cut lengthwise and their contents are pressed into the nozzle. In the nozzle, the silicone is mixed and then layered onto the print plate. These tubes are rewound back into the waste box, which unfortunately did not function as it should in this exhibited version. I brought home a sample print, and I must say that there are certainly areas where this material will find its place. The presentation ended with a photo of Prusa Core One with something that looked very much like Bondtech INDX and an invitation to Formnext. I will say goodbye to you as well and look forward to seeing you in my next video. Maybe we will meet at Formnext 2025 in Frankfurt.